Now we have successfully created our blanks. So now it's time to put the features on. There's just two main features. There's a cutout on one of the back faces, but because of the other features, you gotta look and plan properly, because you'll need a flat face so you maintain accuracy while cutting the 45 on there. You might also need that flat face to put the hole that is situated on the 45-degree angle. But I have pre-made machined constants. This one's at 45, so putting that 45 on in the same spot is very repetitive for me. I can do that with these. I set up a stop just so I'm sure I'm at the same spot all the time. These stops are made for when you're doing multiple parts. When you're doing multiple parts, it's always good to have a good reference where you want your parts to stop. And this is just a good way to do it. Get down, tighten down. When you're doing repetitive parts, it's always good to have a stop, and your stop could also become your datum if you make it properly. And like I said, datum means your start point, or a dimension from where all others are taken in a particular axis. That would be your datum point, or your reference point for all your dimensions. So now we're going to carefully cut this 45 against the solid jaw. If your dimensions are correct and your angular constant is accurate, you could go directly to the point, and you're sure to achieve your desired effect. There it is. There's a 45. You know, if you could match it up to the drawing. There it looks. So we'll go ahead and cut the other one. Always clean up so you don't leave chips. Chips could throw you off, mess up your dimension. And I'll set my 0 because I don't think I want to bite that big on my first bite, so make sure she's not moving around. Nice and tight. Nice little tap. Little security tap there. just making sure that she's sitting square and tight against the there's a little shaky going on there, so I'm making sure that everything's all cleaned up and it's not sitting on a burr. Not that it looks terrible, but the other one did shake, and they're supposed to be identical. Same spot. Give her a little clean, take the burr off the corner. Nice. Now she's sitting. So we know now that they're identical. They both have the same dimensions. Now there's a on this 45-degree setup. That's where the hole for the fiber optics sits. So while we're still set up there, I'm gonna change over to the drill. And start popping holes in there. So now we're ready to put the holes in. We've already did our 45, and since we have that set up and we know one of the holes are sitting on the 45, and even the dimensions for the holes are taken off that 45. Assuming everybody knows how to use an edge finder, I'm going to find the edge of one of them. Because they're identical. I like to run my edge finder. I like to run my edge finder at about 1,000, but you could run it from anywhere between 500 to 1,000, and your result will still be close or similar. So this is a 200 thou. The stylus is 200 thou. So once you kick out, you move over 100 thou. Those who don't know how to use it, There's lots of and it is what it says. It's sitting right on the edge there. I'll get my y-axis from here. People who don't have a readout will have to do that on their dials on the front of your mail. But I imagine everybody has a readout now. So now, because my dimensions are in millimeters, the good thing about these digital readouts, you could switch between metric and imperial and do all your stuff in the desired unit of measurement. So I'm going to switch to metric since all my dimensions are in metric. Says I need an edge finder. And my dimensions are 8.49 from the front, which is really close where I'm at right now. Well, that's even better because my dimensions are taking from the back, which is very good. I could still keep that solid jaw vise, so I will. I know the size of this. I know what the size of this is, so I could easily subtract that dimension. But it's always good to be 100% sure. So we'll do that again and take the dimension from the back. I will switch back from my imperial to metric. An edge find from the back, which is great because I could always keep that particular. The solid jaw ain't going anywhere, and it's usually the best place to do your starting data. There you go, and I switch back to metric. It says from that rear side, I am 23.75 millimeters. I'll stick a little center drill in there. Now the thing with center drills for me center drills, the angle on the mouth and on the tip of the center drill is your typical 82-degree for your regular drill. So it's not even make a lot of sense to pass that unless you want to use your center drill to start a hole on your leg. People go all the way in with the center drill until they get to the 60-degree part of the center drill, and that part of the center drill, when you go in with an 82-degree drill, it's harder on the corners of that drill. So I recommend you just do a little prick, just for start. Then you go drill away. And like we said, we needed an M4 by 07. And that's a number 30 drill would give us 129 thou, and a 3.3 drill, which is just really 130 thousandths. So there we go. We're going to use a number 30, which is the closest. The great thing about having a setup like this, you could, if you had a bunch of pieces, you could put all your different pieces in without taking out your tool. There you go, both holes are drilled. Before you tap any hole, you should always countersink. I usually reduce my speed to the tapping speed for my countersink. Remember guys, there's three types of drills. Drills are actually identified in three different ways. Numbers, fractions, and letters. Yeah, drills are identified in three different ways. Numbers, fractions, and letters. There is a formula to calculate what size drill you need for what number of thread. Nobody does that anymore. Everybody refers to a chart. A little juice on there. It's completely excited, the whole. You can hand tap, but that's not really necessary if your machine is capable of tapping. So now we have our fiber optic M407 by 0.07 in. Now it's time to put the other two holes in. And those other two holes are just two clearance holes by 5.5 millimeters. So we get rid of our little setup block here. And these are nice little setup blocks, angular constants when you have to do small pieces like this. So this thing is dimensioned a little weird. However, we're gonna have to find where another. We already established our solid jaw as 1 0. Now we have to establish the stop as the other 0. Would you switch back? Let's find this 0. Over 100 thousandths. And switch back to my metric. No, 0 is at the very end here where the stop is. We also know, according to our drawing, 1 hole is 6 millimeters by 7. So that's 6 millimeters back here. By 7. That's where 1 will be. Do the same for this guy. And those holes are 5.5 millimeters. I don't have metric drills, so I'll find myself an imperial drill, which is equivalent. And 5 millimeters is thinks about 190. Okay, 5 millimeters. I'm referring to the chart. It's 197 basically. So a number 9 drill is 196 and a number 8 is 199. Let's see, was it 5 millimeters or 5.5 millimeters? Okay, they're 5.5, so I'm thinking it's clearance for a 5 millimeter screw. which is exactly what it is. So 5.5 millimeters. Is 216,000. Number 3 jaw is going to give you 213, which is big enough. So we'll use a number 3, which is lots of room. There's one set of holes for you. Here you have it. The holes are in place. I got these cute little handheld countersinks that are perfect for aluminum. They do an awesome job. By the way, I have a Noga also, a holder for this thing. That's another good piece of tool. Nice little countersinks. Beautiful. Well, the only other feature left is to mill that extra slot on the top of it. And we'll get to it in a jiffy. Just remove the drill chuck. The milling cutter back real fast. Always clean your tapers before you. These are a bunch of parts from my last from my friends who run they build vibratory feed systems. And my last video I made sensor brackets for them. Apparently I think these pieces are the tracks onto which those sensor bracket fits, and these tracks is what the parts are fed along these tracks. So these are the pieces that make up that tract, and we're going to get right into it. Now I found out, because they're all the same, he just sends me the material and the drawings, and I fabricate the pieces. Sometimes by the end of fabricating them, they fit together, so I could tell what they are based on experience of doing them over a period of time. But now, because they're all the same length, I'll just come up with a way to have them all in one length by setting up my stop again. I'll measure my first one and then do all of them. Now this cute little stop here, working it a lot of different ways. Set it up so it so this piece sits square up against it like that. Get it tightened up somewhere about there. That's a good datum to start my 12 inches. So I'll just measure one piece and take it from there. So get relaxed. Relax. Just want to touch. You don't want to shove on it, because if you shove on it, then you could still compromise your accuracy. Alright. Well, on the 12 inches, I do have a nice Mitutoyo, trusted Mitutoyo 12-inch vernier caliper. And no hard feelings, not knocking the Chinese or anything, but if you want to use buy measuring equipment that you're going to use for a long time, always go for the best ones. But right now I got more than 12 inches. So I'll take her down to 12, and then all the rest we're going to set up as we go. Turn this around and we'll take a measurement of it right now. Since I'll show you the trick to measure anything over 12 inches. If you don't have enough, if you don't have a vernier or a micrometer big enough to measure that long, one way you could measure and get within 5 thou of your dimension by creating a stop use some shorter parallels. See if we could stop on that thing. That's a little low, but as long as we could butt up against it, it'll work perfect for this method. This method is, like I said, it's just for measuring. So you have a square surface and you butt up against it. If you have gauge blocks, you could use your gauge blocks. Some people call them Joe blocks. I'm not sure why, because these are not Joe's, these are mine. So I use a 4-inch. Get my trusted Mitutoyo vernier, and you could use the shoulder as well as the tail, but when the shoulder covers a wider surface, so I trust the shoulder more. So I'll add 4 inches to 8.183, so that was 12.183. So I've got 183 thousandths of an inch to go to get to 12 inches. Yeah, so my full distance is 12.183, and I need to get 12.008, so I'm going to get 12. So I'll be taking off 175. Nothing's moved except up and down, so I'll put it right back up on the big parallels. Nothing's changed. So I'm going to 175. So I'm going to go 175. So now we're 12. There we took 100. Perfect. So we need to go 75 more. Well, this is going to become my template, so I'm triple checking all the time because I don't want it to be any less or any more. I want it to be right on the money. Alright, let's give it a nice measure this way. So there you have it. A little 12-inch template. And right from there to that stop is 12 inches. There's only one thing right now. I prefer to use 4 flow cutters when I'm cutting the tool steel. So I will have to switch out my cutter. So I'll put this back. So when I put the new cutter in, so that's my template. And I'll pick this up, and all my other pieces will be as long as this. So when I get all my blanks ready, we'll come back when I'm ready to put the holes in. If you're learning anything, please, you could have a comment and subscribe to the channel if you're learning anything or if you like what I'm doing.